I'm Chidi. I'm Chidi Nwaogu, and I'm co-founder of Publisheer and Savvy. Publisheer is a digital content distribution company, and Savvy is a business incubation and an acceleration organization. Yeah.
Hey, it's Kellen. And today, you guys might think it's a clone. It'll be a much younger version of me, but he's already a chief in my eyes in tech. Chidi is awesome. I mean, the stuff that he's doing is the stuff that we used to do. Maybe it was legal, maybe it wasn't, but we need to make sure our African brothers can get paid off their music, their YouTube, and everything else. So they can always have my address. But now I'm glad to see a full-blown company that focuses only on that. And I'm going to jump right into it. Whether you were listening on iTunes, iHeart, Spotify, our newest partner in Freetown, Sierra Leone, AYV Radio, My Home, Salon Bobo, or even YouTube, thank you for tuning in. Chidi, what's going on, my bro? You are amazing.
Thank you.
I don't want you to tell the people how you started, why you started, because they can Google your name and see that your brother got ripped off from those guys in Norway when he was owed some money. And because PayPal and other companies aren't as inclusive as they say, with allowing Africans to get paid and actually control their narrative, I want you to get into which countries right now can benefit. I believe there are 6, but can you give us a list? What companies can get down and publish their music, their books, and all their creative, art?
Yeah, so currently we are service creators from 8 African countries. And these countries are Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, Egypt, Senegal, Togo, and Cote d'Ivoire.
Okay, what is it going to take to get into the Cameroons and the Sierra Leones? What do you need for those artists to say, hey, we finally found our home?
Well, we're currently not in Sierra Leone. Hopefully we decide to expand there in the future, but we often, go to where we believe that there is good market, and good numbers of creatives, a very fast growing population. But what we look for in creatives is just people who have created amazing content, people whose content, paints Africa in a very, good light. And we just try to, as much as possible, to give them that home, for their content. We give them the opportunity to transform that creativity that they have into wealth for themselves. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask that question in a different way. Is it a money thing where you need a team in those places? Because Salon has plenty of talent. Cameroon, plenty of talent. Shout out to Dr. and King Stevens, my friend. What is needed to bring you there? Because those places still aren't getting the love from, the YouTubes and everything that they should. So what do you need from us to be able to come there? Because the talent's there. Do you need us to invest some money? Do you need us to, put a building? What does that look like?
Well, we're trying as much as possible not to focus on breadth, but rather on depth, So we currently making sure that we conquer as much markets as we expand, So currently we service 8 countries. That means that we're trying as much as possible to dominate those markets, and learn as fast as possible. And when we dominate those markets in a very sensible amount of way, and then we continue our expansion, and hopefully we come to Sierra Leone. So I don't think Sierra Leone needs to do anything. We'll definitely get there. I think it's just we're taking it bit by bit. Yeah.
Okay, that's a very nice answer. I'll ask you off air and we'll get more into the what is needed, and I'll get that to you guys. So if you're in Sierra Leone or Cameroon, holler at the Diallo company. I'll get that information to them, and we'll solve this problem for you, because it's a big problem. What do you call it? because you're on the back end and you know what it takes to be able to expand to these markets. I remember YouTube telling them, this is racism, man. You guys don't allow my African bruvs. They got to act like they're in America or they're in Europe. Do you call it racism, or is there really some stuff behind the scenes that we don't know, that governments actually may stop payments? And that's why, you know, everything isn't fair. That's why somebody can watch 1 million views in America and get paid 10 grand and up, while in Nigeria, they might get 1,000. What do you call that from the, you know, bigger tech companies?
Well, for me, I think that the problem is that they don't understand our market. You know, we're enough. Stripe, you know, is trying to get into the payment system in Africa, and they're doing this, you know, through Paystack, you know, by the acquisition of Paystack, you know. So I think they're trying to understand the market, you know, better off and better, you know, much better than they currently know about the market. And, you know, I believe that once they understand the market, maybe they will decide to, you know, venture into it. Obviously, they know that there's a lot of potentials, you know, in the African market, because, you know, we have one of the fastest growing internet, you know, penetration. And so obviously, you know, it will get to that point or that time. But for now, I think it's just very little knowledge about the African continent, or how, you know, we used, you know, how we, you know, currently operate and stuff. But yeah, I wouldn't want to say much about, you know, about that, you know. But I think that the most problem is just understanding, you know, the market well enough. Yeah.
Okay. You want to play it safe? You thought this was going to be an easy interview, huh? You thought I was going to ask you the same thing people have been asking you for the past, you know, years. We don't do that over here, man. We solve problems, and some of them are difficult, and we solve problems especially for our folks on the continent and in the diaspora, because with unity, we all win. Now, let me ask, with the, you know, payouts and somebody's getting paid. I have an artist in Kenya that we work with. If somebody, you know, gets a big check, and I'm looking at your platform for him, if they get a big check or any check, do you know if they have to claim it in their country, or at what level, or if you guys are reporting it to their country? Because that's a big thing to many people, especially creatives, who aren't always on top of their business. They're like, hey, do I got to claim this money you gave me? Hey, I tell them in English, Spanish, Chichewa, and any other language they need to know. Y'all know say. You know, that's for my brothers who speak Spanish. I don't know the laws in your country. Get a lawyer, get an accountant. But how does that work if you're paying someone out in so many different countries? Because I know there's people looking at you saying, let's make sure they're doing everything on the up and up. And I don't want Interpol coming after you. I don't want Interpol coming after me. So let's educate the artist if they need to claim the money that they get from your company when they get those royalties.
Well, I'm not sure if I understand the question, but for example,
yeah. I can rephrase it. I can rephrase it if you need me to.
Okay, please do.
Okay, I'm just saying, you pay, let's say you pay me, I'm in Kenya, you give me, you know, $1,000. Are you guys telling the Kenyan government that I got $1,000, or you guys just handle, you know, you don't worry about that?
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. So we usually do this. It's either two ways. You know, if you when you put your payment details on our platform, you know, so if you don't put your tax ID, that means that we do the 30% withholding. So that means we do a 30% tax withholding. You know. But then once you put your tax ID, that means that you're in charge of paying your tax yourself. And we don't tell, you know, the government that we paid you a certain amount of money. We just, you know, pay in good faith and believing that, you know, that you're going to pay your taxes, you know. Yeah.
Okay. And I say that because, you know, there's been platforms out there and we love them because we get paid from them or for them monthly, but they are now taxing, you know, Africans. It's almost like a double tax. So you might get taxed from your country and then you get taxed from this company that's building up America. Hey, to each his own. But I just want it to be clear for artists, because somebody might look at your platform and say, oh, this is a way to maybe avoid some of that. And no, it's not. They're gonna report it, folks. So let's get into, you are highly educated, many degrees, certifications from places like MIT, Istanbul, you know, you're all over Lagos. We don't forget homegrown, you know, you're a super eagle. How easy was it to get all this education? Did the education because education is changing. Did education help with all these ideas and you being able to do all these skill sets?
Well, for me, I believe that education is very important, and I always say that it played an important role, in my formation as an entrepreneur and also as a person, So I would always say to whoever, if you can get a proper education, you should do that. Apart from getting a good education, while being in school, you meet a lot of people, you form people skills, you interact with a lot of people, you learn what it takes to live and to work with certain groups of people, especially people, with diverse, from diverse, culture, and so you get to understand how to build people skills, and that's very important for any entrepreneur to be able to build people skill. You also meet, create connections, while you're at school. Who knows, your classmate could be someone, very, very brilliant, or also heavily connected in community, So yeah, I believe that's apart from, learning, in school, you build great people skill, and you form friendship, that can last, for a lifetime, and that can also help you while, growing your business.
And would you call yourself, I mean, what are you, an expert in, front end, back end, or can you do it all in, the tech space? Are you just one of those that, you can rebuild the computer and you can say, hey, I set up your PHP and put you in the metaverse with my gaming, company? Like, can you do it all, or do you like to specialize?
Yeah, so I'm a full stack developer, but I definitely love back end development more than front end. But I started, my journey mostly as a game developer, video game developer. But then I switched, into web application development and software, mobile app development. But yeah, I'm a full stack developer in the larger sense. Yeah.
And I was trying to get on that game, Naja boy. I was trying to get on it. Tell me, how in America can we play? I just wanted to play an African game. I don't think I've ever played one.
So the game is out of circulation. The game was created sometime in 2009. That is about over a decade ago. So yeah, it's it's a really old game. I don't even know if I have the raw files, for the game, but I would, definitely try and see how I can get it and send it to you. Yeah, but it's a pretty much old game, now. It's over a decade now.
Okay, is it possible that somebody can come to your company now and say, you know what, I've heard about this thing, the metaverse. I've seen what Roadblocks and all these other places that my kids want to play globally, things have blown up, that they can hire your company to develop a game? Are you guys focused on the game still?
No, we no longer develop games. We only distribute games, So yeah, we're no longer in the process or in the business of game development, but we're in the part of video game distribution.
And I'm saying that since you deal with so many gamers, the ideas, when I think of the African stories and games that have not been told, like they say Nintendo Wii is a good workout, right, when it came out, but I want to create a game where, hey, you got to make that fufu and you got to pound it and it has to get right. And whoever gets, and it's not just getting it, on the pounding. Now you got to get the fire and talk about a workout, man. Woo! I thank God I'm married and have, that's the stories that I want to be able to show and tell and have people have fun with, because they sell everything back to us and say, oh, check this fufu out. It's great for your digestion. You'll be in a Greek restaurant. This is where we're going, right? Like they take all of our stuff. So I'm just throwing that out there because I'd love to see stories like that put out there. Maybe you'll connect me in the future and we can brainstorm. Tell me, yeah, besides being creative and being a business person, I know you focus a lot on giving back. Can you talk about a community give back you're doing, or one that you would like to do in the future?
Yes, so currently I run a nonprofit called Savvy, and the aim of the organization is to help identify people who are currently unemployed but have a passion about solving some of the world's most pressing problems through innovation and in a very sustainable way. And we train these people, and we provide them with mentorship, and also we also provide them with funding via the Savvy Prize. So far we've trained about 6,000 of them from 100 and from over 150 countries, and we've provided some some amount of funding as well. But yeah, it's just our way of helping those who are unemployed to become gainfully employed to get into entrepreneurship as a way to reduce global unemployment. Yeah.
What's the timeline if somebody becomes a savvy fellow, man, all the play on words, all pun intended, y'all. If they become a savvy fellow, and what timetable, like, do they have to dedicate 12 weeks or 12 months? And does it cost them anything?
So it costs nothing. It's completely free. And usually, the program was designed as a 12-week program. So that means, you have to dedicate 12 weeks. But, obviously it's not completely 12 weeks. You just have to dedicate about an hour every week for the next 12 weeks. But if you want to, space, move at your own pace, it's completely acceptable. So that means you can complete the course, less than 12 weeks, or even, more, way after 12 weeks. The idea is just we want you to learn at your own pace, and we want you to be able to, just achieve greatness, at your own time. That's at your own timeline. It's more of our way of explaining to you that you are in a competition with yourself. You are trying as much as possible to be better than the person you were before, and not necessarily trying to compete with other people.
Now, talk about competition. You have a twin. How does that work when you guys have a twin competition because you guys both are doing your thing? Or are you guys so in sync and in tune where it's just like, man, it's two people, but it's one focus, and it's in the arts, it's in the creatives? Like, how does that work? Because I've seen twins, say, man, I don't want to be nothing like them, because we've had to deal with that our whole life. But I want to have that twin conversation for folks who are battling that, trying to get out of a sibling shadow, or trying to work with the sibling who, may be on the same page, may not be on the same accord. How does that work with you and your twin?
Well, I think my twin and I, we're just, we like I would like to say, we are on our different timelines, and we also work together, and that's also a beautiful thing. And also he also has his own personal projects as well. But to me, any success that my twin have is also my success as well. Any success that I have is his success as well. So it's not necessarily like when trying to outgrow any of each other. He's my co-founder at Publisheer and Savvy, and so he's always part of my journey as well. And before Publisheer, he and I, we had created two other companies, and got them sold. And so yeah, he's like a very huge part of my success story. So yeah, I don't think we have that issue of trying to be trying to get out of the other person's shadow, because like literally we are in sync in what we're trying to achieve, and we work together to achieve it.
You do music as well?
So we this not popular knowledge anyway. So I used to be part of a music deal with my twin brother sometime in 2008, and it was called Twin Harmony. But I think eventually I found more passion in writing. I always I loved writing, books and stuff, and so my love for storytelling, kind of overshadowed my love for making music. And so I told him that I want to be out of the music group, and I just so I can pursue my love for writing. And he continued with music. So yeah, I don't do music anymore. Like I said, his success in music is also my success as well.
Okay, I love when twins get along, and I'm so happy when when I hear twins get along, because P Square broke my heart when they did their split. It's just, I said, wait, hold on, you can't do that. It broke my heart like that umbrella. If you guys aren't watching, the umbrella almost fell on me, but that's what happens when the wind does its thing. So I'd like to know, with everything that you do, when you started, maybe coming out of uni, or maybe started your business in uni, how crazy did people think you were when you said you wanted to do this? Or when you go to a new venture, does it ever become normal, from your parents, from other people to say, okay, they're going to go do their thing. It's okay. They got their education. That's very important in the African culture. But how crazy did people think you were? Because you do so much. I'm sure I guarantee people say, just focus on one thing. Don't do too much. Talk about that.
So going to school was, interesting for my twin and I, because we literally were at the top of our classes, So our parents never had any problem about us, acing, our exams or having to complete school. But while we're in school, we quickly understood that an education, cannot really, make you stand out, because everybody, gets an education, So before you can really stand out and become, someone special or someone, that people admire, you need to, go out of the four walls of the classroom and, try to, gain new skills and stuff. And so he and we decided that we wanted to learn how to code and stuff. And I remember, talking to one of our friends while we were in secondary school, which is high school, and we asked him a question, what do you want out of life? And the person said that he just wanted to get a job, be comfortable, and, just raise a family. And that sounded a little bit weird to my twin and I, because we wanted more. We wanted a life where people get to know us, people get to love us for the, for the work that we do. We wanted an extra life, something extraordinary. And so my mom, got to know that my twin and I, we're very big dreamers. I think when we were about 13 years. And so she got, she got to know about our ambitions, to do something great when we were about 13. And she had been very supportive of our journey so far. I have not been able to, I have never kept a 9-to-5 job before. I tried to do that once, and that was when I was 17, and I kept it for 30 days and I quit. And so, so my mom, she knows that my student and I, we can't work for nobody. And she's very comfortable with that, because she understands that, we have big dreams, and, just working for an organization can never, cut it for us. And our family have been very supportive about it. And we're very lucky that we are successful at it. If not, it would be a completely different story altogether.
So he never heard these words, folks.
My mama swore I was a joke, but now I got a million.
He never heard those words. So there are Nigerian parents who are supportive. Shout out to you, Toby. I just want to really know, how did she support you guys, as young teenagers? Did she put you guys in any special courses? And I'm doing this for the parents. When you see your child has a gift and they're a little different, how you can, really push them, because some kids aren't going to be as aggressive as you and your brother may have been, and say, we know what we want to do and it ain't working for somebody else. So how did she, were there any special courses that you took that maybe a 13-year-old or a 17-year-old could take in Lagos right now, in Abuja, anywhere, maybe in the world? Maybe it was a virtual thing you did. Give us the game on that, please.
Yeah, so my mom bought us the first computer that, my twin and I owned, and so, that was a very huge impact, had a very huge impact to our entire journey. And she also took us to a computer training school when we were about 14. And we just got some basic, computer training. And I think that was the beginning of everything. We got to understand that we love computers, and we just kept, growing from there. Teaching ourselves how to code and stuff. But I think a huge part of the entire story was, thanks to the computer she got for us, and the training that she got, she also paid for us. So she was very supportive, and she's one of the catalysts to our entire career.
And that's because she knew you guys had Big dreams. That's how what's going on. I just have to throw that out there, you know, because this is the time right now where you can be anything you want to be. YouTube University and every other platform is allowing you to learn. You don't even have to wait to, you know, get into a certain class and take prereqs. What are your thoughts on the metaverse and what we're going to see in the next, you know, 10 to 20 years?
Well, I really don't know exactly what we're going to see in the next 10 to 20 years, but I know it's going to be completely different from the life we're currently living now. The way, you know, the structure of everything on the pillar about, you know, of the community will be completely different. I can imagine 20 years ago. Well, I really don't know much about 20 years ago because I was just barely 10 years old. But, you know, just 10 years ago, we barely, we always interacted mostly with phones. You know, we had phone calls all the time. We sent SMS and stuff. But these days, nobody sends SMS these days. You know, we always send messages, you know, from, you know, using instant messaging tools. And, you know, we connect, you know, in a very weird way these days. And so I believe that there will be a lot and a huge, you know, chunk of that changes will be in the way we communicate. You know, there will be so much changes in the way we interact with ourselves. You know, so many things would have to change. People wouldn't have to travel halfway around the world to sign business deals or to meet someone. We like, you know, you always use the word metaverse, you know, and I believe that someday, you know, we'll be able to, you know, to feel and touch things that are several miles away, you know, just the way, you know, we feel and touch things that are very close to us. You know, 10 years ago, I don't think you and I could have a video conferencing call, you know, very easily. But these days, you know, we are able to, you know, have a conversation even when we're thousands of miles away and hear ourselves, you know, almost, you know, instantly. And so I think, you know, there's going to be a lot of changes there, the way we communicate, the way we interact, the way we just, well, I just don't know exactly what's going to happen. I know a lot will change financially, you know, the way we buy and sell will completely change, you know, and the way, you know, yeah, but I myself am looking forward to the changes because it's already happening already, you know, there's so much, you know, changes, you know, the NFTs, you know, the cryptocurrencies, you know, and stuff. And, you know, there's so much introduction to a whole new world of opportunities. And so, yeah, I'm also literally looking forward to that changes as well.
Well, I'm a old pa compared to young P King, because I can remember when the video conferences started and when having the Skype in 2003, and that wasn't, you know, the first, but it was the first stable for us and affordable. And so, you know, that was 19 years ago. So I get it. And that's why I never get mad off these, you know, connections. And we've had no connection issues. Thank God. It's a beautiful Sunday. But can you tell the people where they can find you? I don't want to give them all the game because I want them to read it in your upcoming book. I don't think it's out yet. Tell me if I'm wrong, but the book, when it does come out, I want to know where on Amazon. Actually, no, forget Amazon, on Publishing, where I can get it. Because you have so much and the best is yet to come. So where can the people find you?
Yeah, so I'm currently on every social media platform. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on LinkedIn, and I'm on Instagram, but I'm not on TikTok, unfortunately. But you can find my book on Amazon. So Publisheer, we do not sell books directly. We sell books, you know, using our, you know, via our partner stores like Amazon, you know, Barnes and Noble, Google Play Books, and iBooks and stuff. So yeah. And yeah, you can find it, my book, on everywhere books are sold. You can find it on, you can find my book on Amazon. You can find it on Barnes and Noble. You can find it on Google Play Books, on Apple Books, you know, on Kobo Books, Grid, you know, and the rest. Yeah.
You guys have got the game. Now you got to go get the book because there's more to the story. You don't get to this level at such a young age without having so much more in details that took him time to write down. So I don't want to share everything and ask everything. You got to buy a book. You got to support, and you got to make sure you share this with somebody. It will change their life. Be blessed, y'all.
Are you tired of the rat race in America? Are you ready to visit the motherland to relax and rejuvenate? Are you ready to explore all that Africa has to offer? Then check out the brand new Diversified Game Academy course, Prepare for My First Trip to Africa. Are you worried about being able to afford the trip? We got you. We will show you how to travel either on a budget or as a baller. Learn how to stress the value of the USD. Did you know that 100 United States dollars is worth over 1,000 South African rand, or 10,000 Kenyan shillings, or 54,250 West African CFA? Are you worried about taking your kids? Get the game from Kelly Cash, a bona fide world traveler, having traveled to almost 20 countries, several of those in Africa. Get the game on taking your kids on their first trips. Learn how to find the best tickets, get the visas, and plan your own adventures in Africa. Don't let Eddie Murphy have all the fun. Plan your own coming to Africa trip starring you, produced by you, and featuring you. If you are ready for a life-changing experience, sign up for our course today, Diversified Game Academy. Get prepared and purchase at diversifiedgame.com.